everyone, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me for another craft night with friends. We are tatting again tonight. We made these tiny little rings last night. I will show you how to do that again tonight. We'll do a little review, and I'm going to also show you how to read a basic pattern, and we will be attempting to tat a little snowflake, like a little flower that we're going to turn into a snowflake. So that's the plan for the night. Thanks again for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners, and I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. However, I will not be here tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be taking off. We'll be traveling to see family, so I will be back again on Monday. And we'll be starting up another project. So that is the plan. I hope you guys saw that we had our new little scissors out. Here's one of them, our little yellow one. This is what I'll be using tonight. But we got all our scissors in, and I am just so happy with them. So check those out if you haven't already. And, of course, the embroidery of the month. We will kind of have this little snowflake hang out with the snowflake that we make tonight. I think they'll be a nice little pair. So, all right, you guys, let's get going. Okay, so let's dip way down in here again. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so this is what we did last night for the tatting. We did a few rings. This is actually the direction we went in. So we learned several different techniques, and we will go over them again tonight. So tatting, we are doing the shuttle tatting. I am just learning how to do this. So you guys will be learning with me. This is going to be like my third attempt at tatting, I think, tonight. But we can see all the attempts. This is my first. This is what came with the original kit that I did like 10 years ago. And then I tried this yesterday just to relearn how to do it. I watched a ton of videos and read a bunch of blog posts and stuff to figure out how to do it again. And this is what we did last night. And we're going to take it one more step and read a pattern and actually make something. So you can start to see all crazy loops here. We're just being pretty random. But if we're not so random, I think we'll have something that looks like a little snowflake. So that is our plan for tonight. I took this off the shuttle already. I want to make my snowflake this winter morning color, this pretty blue, and then it can go with, it'll match the embroidery pattern too. This actually here almost looks like tatting, like all the little rings. I think that's just kind of neat. All right, so we will do it with this blue. So I just kind of want to review the elements of this again. Oh, Lana said I tried needle tatting today. So much easier and fun. Yay, that's awesome. I saw a few other people doing some tatting. Ugh, awesome. Oh, Kevin's saying lots of people are picking up tatting now. It's awesome because I literally only have to carry this around, and this is the whole project, right? So I mean, you can just throw that in your pocket and you have like an emergency craft project, which is nice to have around when you need it. All right, so I'm definitely getting into it. Like I said, I'm still learning here, but let's just take a look at this again. I think I'm going to use my scissors just to point things out. So just the terms, just the anatomy of this again. The main idea in this is still basic tatting. We haven't leveled up to the next, there's a few more elements that we could add, but just in the basic tatting, we have our rings. So each one of these circles going around, like these circles with all the knots on it, those are a ring. Each of those are rings. So we have 4 rings on here, and that's kind of one of the basic shapes of tatting. Like there's a lot of rings. It's rings and connecting rings, basically. So what makes up a ring? Oh, Stitch and Tori, I can never get my knot to flip. Okay, we will go over that again tonight. Yes, that is the thing. That was the huge question mark in my head when I was learning this. Like, what the heck? Why can't I get this to move? So we'll go over that for sure again tonight. once we get started here. I'm going to go over all the basics again, and I'll go super slow I'll need to go super slow. Let's say it like that, because I'm gonna have to just re-educate myself again. So if we look real close here, around each ring are little knots. So you can even kind of count them. Like I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of those knots is actually a double stitch. So a double stitch, sometimes you'll see it read as like a DS, double stitch. We have to actually do 2 different motions to create that one knot. So that's the whole under over, then over under. Those 2 things get us 1. So the 2 motions to create 1 double stitch. So that's the basic building block of tatting, is a double stitch. And then the last little thing is, well, maybe 2 more things. We have a picot. So that is this extra little loop. Here's a big version of it. So a big picot. That's coming out of our ring right here. So those are all picots. They're decorative, but they're also used to join rings together. And that's what we did right here. These are 2 different rings, and we've joined it right here with a picot. So this ring actually had 3 picots, 1, 2, 3, and this third one was used to join up this next ring there. They're joined at that picot. So for the basics, those are the 4 things that we're kind of dealing with. We have a double stitch, or a double stitch, a ring, a picot, and a join. So those are the deals that we're dealing with here. So we are going to make a real thing today. We are going to make something that hopefully resembles a snowflake or a little flower. Pretty similar to this, but designed like it'll be a little bit less mishmashy, hopefully. So here is what the most basically abbreviated tatting pattern will look like. And I swear, like, this is like Morse code. I kind of want to just like print this on a sweatshirt and be like, if you know, you know, right? Because this, when I was looking at this, I'm like, oh my God, how does one even, what is this, right? So I'm going to go through what these things mean on here. This is going to be the pattern that we make tonight. So let's just kind of go over what we're even talking about. Okay, so R means a ring. So R1 is the first ring, R2 is the second ring. So like in this case, this is the first ring, that's the second ring, that's the third ring, that's the fourth ring. So ring 1, ring 2, and then I have like ring 3 through 5. We're going to repeat ring number 2. So for the rings 3, 4, and 5 will be the same pattern right there. And then ring 6 will be our last ring. Okay, so these numbers mean double stitch. So sometimes you might see them, like this could sometimes be written 5DS instead of just a 5, but in the shortest version, it means it's just the number. So DS, double stitch, is the same as just the number. So 5 double stitches. And again, that's the 2-part stitch that we have to do. So 5 of those. This is not actually a dash right here. This is a picot. So when you see a little dash like that, that means that is our picot. So right now we have 5 double stitches, a picot. We have 5 more double stitches, another picot, 2 double stitches, and then we have these 3 dash lines. So that just means a really big picot. So sometimes that's an LP for large picot, but I'm just making the 3, so that'll be like 3 times the size of our normal picot. So big picot, then 2 double stitches, picot, 5 double stitches, picot, 5 double stitches, and then this dot, which is basically a period. It's like the end of the sentence. Another way of showing that is CLR, and it actually means close the ring. So remember, we're working on a whole ring here. So we're starting a ring, and then we're closing the ring. And that's just when I pulled my knots tight at the end, that's me closing the ring. So these are all like closed rings. And then the last little element here is, you see we got a plus sign here. We have one there, and then here and here. And what that means is we are going to do a join. So we will be joining, we'll be doing 5 double stitches, and then we'll be joining to the picot that came before. So we'll actually probably be joining to this picot right there. So this is a join, and then it's just, you know, our 5 double stitches, a picot, 2 double stitches, real big picot, and then so on. So that is our pattern. This is what we're going to be following here tonight, if that makes sense. So that is the deal, you guys. So, all right, this is what we're going to be going on. Now let's start with our shuttle again here. So I am going to load it up with some new floss. I'm going to use this blue. All right, let's find an end here. And let's see if I can get it through this little hole today. Oh, look, got it. So I'm going to just kind of hold it in place there. And then we're going to go, you know, this tip I want up, and I'm going to be going counterclockwise around here. So there's like little slits at the top and bottom, and your thread, so like right there, you can see it, and right there, and our thread will just slip right through there. So counterclockwise, slip, you can hear it click, and slip right through there, and there we go. I'm going to just load it up. So the instructions will typically say how much you have to put on your bobbin, or your shuttle, I mean. So I don't really know how much to put on for this. I'm going to just probably put as much as we did on last night. We'll just load it up. So I'm using embroidery floss. That's not really the typical thing to use. I'm just using it because it's bright and colorful and fun, and I have it. So I guess use what you have. A good you know, alternative, or like, you know, what you should really probably be doing it with is with like a pearl cotton floss. So that's more like this nice twisted cotton thread. And the real thing is you want it like nice and even. You don't want to use like a yarn that has little nubbins and stuff on, because remember, we have to slide our knots down our like main column, and that's going to block the way if you have a... Oh, you have a Stitch and Tori says, I have a removable bobbin, and I would try to load it. It would slip all over the place, and it wouldn't spin. So, okay, I am with you. So I actually have one of those right here. So this is another version. We talked about this a little bit last night. So here's the one I'm using now, where it has like the slits on the side, and your whole kind of thing, your whole shuttle acts as the bobbin. Versus this one here. This one, you see, it doesn't really open, but instead it has a bobbin right in it. And I'll try and pop it out again, which was annoying and hard to do yesterday. I think this is a much cheaper shuttle, but there we go. So this one has a bobbin that I wound all the thread around, and you can tell it's kind of goofy here. And I'll tell you why it wasn't really working very well. But so I wind this bobbin. That was easy enough. And then you stick it back in here, so it's going counterclockwise. You can see like it has little nubbins there to get it in there. There we go. So I was having that same problem stitching Tori, like with this. Oh, I didn't put that in Oh, here, if I just hold it this way, then it's counterclockwise. I was having that same problem that, like, if I pull on this, it's not turning very well. So, I mean, it will if I really turn it, or I don't know, if I do it by hand, like I'm manually turning it to loosen some thread, but it was being super annoying. Every once in a while, there we go. There, I can get it to kind of go when I pull, then I'm ready to go, but it really was annoying. It was not fun. So that's why I went back to, I emptied this one. This one was the one that came with my big kit here. That first thing that I did like 10 years ago, and I went back to that. But I wanted to test both of them out. So I'm guessing you probably have one like this. But yeah, this one was no fun, this one. So what it does have, though, is that little crochet hook at the end where we're going to be able to pick out our pieces for a join. So that's kind of maybe a little bit easier than this tip. Oh yeah, Stitch and Tori, not just you. I really had a hard time. Like I mean, you can see how much I've been pulling on here. Like it's just squishing the thread. It was just really, really difficult. Maybe I shouldn't be pulling. I mean, I bet you if I'm holding it down like this, it doesn't turn very well. I bet you that's why it's back here a little bit. Okay, that might be a little bit easier, but sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. It's making that clicking noise because it has sort of a locking position so that it can hang. Which is sort of an element of tatting. Like this one hangs as well. Anyway, let's finish winding this a little bit more. And I think we're probably actually fine there. You don't want to go wider than your piece. Okay, but now I'm paranoid, so I am going to wind a little bit more. I'm still learning, so I don't quite know how far this thread's gonna get me. So Amy's asking, can you show us or describe how to change colors or add thread? So from what I know, and I'm just getting started here, I'm gonna cut my piece off here. To start and end a floss, like if I run out, I can just tie a little square knot from this to the next piece of floss. And then you just have to tuck in, you have to weave in your ends at some point. The other way to do it is the next level up is where we use 2 different bobbins. Then you're going to be doing things like chain stitches and stuff too. So that's kind of more, this is like the next level up. There's like 2 different techniques left, but you actually use 2 bobbins, and they can be different colors. So you can actually stitch a little bit with one and then switch with the other one to get another color. So there is a technique of using both, and that can achieve different colors as well. We're just sticking to the basics here yet. Have you ever tatted from the shuttle and ball of thread at the same time? So Lynn, that is a very similar technique to using 2 bobbins. We might have to do that again sometime. So like I could have not cut this off. I could have left the long end, and there is a way to use that long end to do some more advanced techniques like chain stitches and that sort of thing. That's the same things achieved with like 2 shuttles. But for tonight, we are sticking to a 1 shuttle design just because we're learning like these basic things first. So, all right, we are ready to go. I have my shuttle here. So again, there we are. It's wound from the side. Here's what it looks like from the top, and it is coming out counterclockwise there, right? Okay. So you hold it within your 2 fingers there, and in your left hand, so it's the little dance again between the left hand and the right hand. So to start out, I'm gonna have my left hand just facing towards me, the palm, and I'm gonna put my thread around, and I'm gonna wrap it around my hand here. So I'm going up and around, and I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna come back up, and I'm going to grab where the 2 meet with my 3rd finger and my thumb, basically. So I've made a loop around my hand, and it's going around my 1st finger here, and I can actually loosen and tighten and loosen and tighten with my pointer finger there. So just to do that again, I'm going to go up and around and then back up here, and then I'm going to meet my thumb and my third finger are going to hold the start and end, and then my first pointer finger can go up and down to tighten and loosen. That is the big movement of here. Okay, oh yes, Gretchen, I'm going to make a snowflake now. We're actually going to use this pattern here, and we'll see how it goes. So that's the hand position to start out with, and then over here. And how we're going to, we have 5 double stitches to do, and I'll just review how to do a double stitch. So I'm holding this in my hand here. To do the first half of the double stitch, remember it's two parts to get the one double stitch. We have to go, I'm gonna go under both threads here. We are only, forget about all this stuff back here. We are only really concerned with this top, the top thread there. The top thread here, and then the thread that is coming from the shuttle. So I'm gonna swoop my hand underneath just so that the thread, the shuttle thread is up here, and I'm gonna go under both threads. So under both threads, and by under, we're gonna do this technique of sliding the bobbin through. So I'm gonna show it from the side just because I think it's easier to tell. So we're going under that top thread, and by under, we're gonna slide that thread right underneath our finger. So I don't even have to move my finger. I can just slide it underneath. It's just gliding underneath my finger till it clears the shuttle. See, like so. And then I'm gonna come back over. So I went under, now I'm gonna go over just the first thread. So just the thread, this first thread here. So I'm going over now, and I'm sliding the thread past my thumb, like so. And then we're gonna go under, basically through our first thread here. So like so, okay? So I'm gonna try doing that again, just so you guys can see that sliding motion again. All right, so we're gonna just get our hand underneath so we can get both threads underneath. So under both, slide that under past our finger till we've cleared that thread, and then over the top, slide past our thumb, and we're gonna go over that first thread and under our second one, and that one is making this loop. All right, so that's the first, there's one more step to the first half of our double stitch, and that is to transfer this loop over to this other side. So this is what we were talking about a little bit earlier. See how this loop loops around this tight thread here? We need to actually flip that, and I'll show you what I mean by that. We actually want this thread to be straight and our straight thread here to be looped around here. So what I mean by that is, let's give it a try. So I'm going to tighten, I'm going to pull on the thread that's connected to the shuttle. So I'm pulling on that. You can see it tighten that loop. And at the same time, I'm going to loosen this finger. So my pointer finger that's keeping this thread taut, I'm going to loosen that while I'm pulling on this other one, and it'll make a little bloop, bloop. There we go. And now we've reversed it. So see, now my shuttle one, my shuttle thread is the tight one, and my one with the finger is looped around. See? Did you see that switch? So let's do that again. I'll get it back. There, I just pulled it back. Whatever one's taut, whatever thread is taut, is the other piece is going to go around. So we start out like this, with my loop going around there, but I want it to be on the other side. So I'm going to make this side taut and this side loose, and it'll flip. There'll be a moment where it just flips around. So there we go. You can see it's on this side now. All right, one more time. I'm going to make this side taut. There, it flipped over there, so it's like this. I want it on the other side, so I'm going to pull on it, and it's going to flip There we go. It's on that side. So this is what we want. We want the shuttle tight and our thread here loose. So that's what we're going for. And then I'm going to just slide it down. And that is going to be the first half of our double stitch. And I'm going to just put my finger right over that. Okay. So the second half, you know, we went under and over. This time we're going to go over and under. So the first one, remember we got under both threads, under and over. Now this one I'm going to go over both threads. So I don't have to have my hand like this anymore because I need to go over. So I can just let it be loose and just think about that. So I'm going to go over this and then under it. Remember, I'm not worrying about this back thread. I'm just concerned with this. So over, and we'll go to by the side again just so you can see I'm going over, and it's going to slide underneath my thumb, past my thumb. Once we've cleared it, I can put the shuttle underneath, over and under, and it's going to slide across my finger there. And, oh, my thread got over my finger here, but there we go. Come back here. So there is our little half hitch knot there. But we need that to flip to the other side again. So I'm going to loosen with my finger and pull with the shuttle thread, and boop, there, it went to the other side. Perfect. And now we can just shimmy that down. You can kind of shimmy it down by just kind of tightening this again, but holding the thread tight. And that is our first double stitch right there. So it's like a little loop made up of two little parts there. And how you know it worked is if it slides across your shuttle thread here. If it doesn't slide, then you probably didn't flip that loop to the other side. So you always want to be testing, always test that it's still moving on there. If it's not, you got to pick it out and do that knot again. That's really the deal. The whole deal of tatting is you need it to be sliding around there. All right, so that's our first double stitch of our pattern here. Remember, we need to do 5 double stitches. So I'm going to go, I'm going to do this again, kind of slow, this next stitch, but then we're going to speed it up a little bit so we can get it done. All right, a double stitch. So we got to go under and over, then over and under. So here's the under. So I'm flipping around again, so I go underneath both threads. So under, I cleared the thread now, and then over, and I'm going back through. All right, and then we gotta flip it. So, boop, there. I loops on the other side, shimmy it down. Okay, and then over and under is the second half. And I gotta flip it to the other side, boop, and there it goes. And we're still sliding. And sometimes you might have to find that, you might find that you need to make the loop bigger on your hand. So you just keep pulling, and there you go. So that's 2. If this gets to like not enough thread here, you just twist your shuttle, release some more thread, and then you're good to go. So all right, that's 2. Let's do a third. So under, over, flip, and then over, under, and through, and then boop, flip that knot. There we go. That's 3. My first 2 were kind of loose, but we'll get there. Okay, we need 5. So 4, over, under, bloop. Nope, that was under, over. Now this is over, under, and bloop. There we go. 4. Okay. Under, over, bloop, and over, under, and bloop. There, we got that knot on the other side. So that's our 5. So the next part in here is that little dash, and that little dash is the picot. So what a picot is basically we just start up our next 5 double stitches here, but we are not going to put it right next to each other. So let me just show you. So we're going to just start our next 5. So I'm going to start the next double stitch. So under and over and flip, But here's where the picot comes in. Instead of sliding this all the way down, I'm going to leave a little gap there. So I'm going to try and stay consistent with this. So I'm going about 1/4 of an inch. That's what I'm going to do my picot as. So I'm going to hold this loop here because I don't want it to slide down any further. So I'm going to hold that there. And then I'm going to finish my stitch. So I just did the under over. Now I'm going to go the over under, flip it, and then drag it down. And that's our double stitch. That's our first double stitch from the next 5 that we're doing there. But there's our gap. Now I can slide that double stitch down, and we've created a little bloop there, a little circle. That is our picot. So again, it's decorative, but it's also going to be where we join our next rows to. So that's the picot. That's represented by the dash. So okay, so we've done our first double crochet or double stitch from the next 5 there. So let's cruise on this now. I'm going to go a little bit faster just because I'm practicing, and just to see if how far we can get on this. Flip, there we go. So that's 2. Let's do 3. Flip, got to get that flip in. That transfer from starting out that loop to like, ooh, there we go, getting the loop on the other side. I'm gonna make my circle, my ring a little bit bigger. Okay, that was 3. I don't have much thread on here anymore, so I'm gonna untwist it a couple times, get a little bit more. All right, under, over, flip, and over, under, flip. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Under, over, flip, over, under, flip. I'll probably say that every time. Just for my own knowledge. All right, so now I'm doing another picot and then 2 double stitches. So 1 double stitch, or one half, and the picot, I'm going to leave that gap again, then go over, under, flip. All right, there we go. I can slide it down, and there's my second little shape there, second little bloop. Get some more thread here, loosen my circle a bit, my ring. And all right, that was 1. I need to make 2. Over, under, flip, or under, over, I mean, and that's over, under. Come on, flip. There we go. Okay, so that's 2. Now we're going to do this large picot. So that's the triple length picot. All right, so I'm starting the next double stitch. 1 half, and there we go. Let's call that a big picot. So that's about 1 inch. Let's do it like that size. Then over, under, flip. All right, now we can drag that down, and we got a really big loop. So that's pretty cute, actually. So that's our large picot. And I'm gonna pull the thread through. First of all, it's a test. Yep, all my knots still pull. I'm just making more of a space here for me. Okay, I got a second one to do. Over, under, over, flip, over, under, flip. There we go. So that's the 2. Now I got a small picot again, and 5. We're getting there, you guys, with this first one. I know we're kind of taking our time, learning how to do everything again, but I need that too, just to learn how to do it again. All right, so that's our 2. Okay, we're getting to the 5. So this is our little picot. So 1. All right, that's about maybe a little bit more. There we go, about our 1/4 inch again, and over, under. Let's pick that back a little bit. There we go. Flipping that knot. Okay, drag it down. There we go, we got another small picot. And I got 5 to do. So that was 1, 2. Okay. Under, over. Flip. Over, under. Flip. 3. Ooh, come on. 4. All right, it's definitely easier to flip with a bigger ring, so I'm gonna, we keep, building it. We keep putting stuff on the ring, so it's gonna keep getting smaller, so gotta pull, make it bigger every once in a while. There we go. Kind of squishing it together here, which is fine. How many were we up to? I think 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 5. Guys, I've never made anything this big before. All I've done is those tiny rings, so this is fun. All right, and then we got a picot. All right, let's leave it like so. Under, over. Hey, Kung Fu Embroidery Art, welcome. All right, that's my picot and our first of 5. Okay, 2. Let's get more slack again. Great. 3. 4. And 1 more. Over, under, flip. Under. I'm saying it the wrong way. Under, over, over, under. All right, so that's our 5, and then we have our close the ring. So how we do that is I just kind of hold the knots up here, and we are going to pull on the shuttle, and our ring is just going to close here. So if we keep pulling, it's going to keep closing, and we're going to go till it's completely closed all the way at the bottom. So let's just keep going. There we go. So this is our first little ring tonight. So theoretically, we need to make 5 more of these. So just to review, so here is the whole thing is a ring. It's made up of these knots that are our double stitches, and then we have our picots. So we have our 2 on the side. We're going to be using those to join 2 for the next ring. And then we have our little picot, or a picot here, and then our large picot. That's the 3 dashes right there. And then our tiny picot, again, there, our normal size picot. So that is our first ring, you guys. We are doing it. It looks like your working thread is twisting. You may need to lift your left hand up or drop the shuttle to allow the thread to untwist. Ooh, Lenore, great tip. Thanks, Lenore. Yep, I am totally learning this still, and I'm using a thread that is kind of an inappropriate thread. Oh yeah, look at that. I held it up and it is totally loosening. I'm using a really loosely wound or like non-wound embroidery floss just because I think it's pretty and I have it, whereas like a tightly twisted pearl cotton floss probably would have been the better bet. But we're giving it a go. Cool, all right, you guys, that's the biggest thing I've ever tatted right there. So let's see if we can crank out 5 more of these, really, because we're going to do 5 more, and then that's going to become our snowflake. I actually would like to block it where I can get this to be like nice and pointy, and we'll have like this really pretty little simple snowflake, I think. So, all right, to start the next ring, I need to hold the place that I want to start. So I want to get it right up where we left off there. So I'm going to hold that with my thumb and my third finger here. So I'm going to hold it right there, like so. And we're going to make our loop again. So I'm just going to go above my, above and around my hand. This is going to be for our next ring, and then I'm going to hold it there in the same spot that I'm holding where we want to start there. So my third finger and thumb again there. Let's untwist some more off of the shuttle here. Okay, Gretchen, you totally can embellish this with beads. I don't know how to do that yet, but I've seen a ton of examples that they do that. All right, I'm going to try and go a little bit faster here, and I'm going to read the pattern here. So I'm going to start with 5 picots, or 5 double stitches, I mean. So under, over, flip, and I'm going to pull this first one way down so it comes right next to our last stitch there. Okay, and then over, under, and flip that knot. There we go. That's our first one. It's close enough to the last piece. All right, so 4 more. 1, 2, is that 2 parts? 3, and I'm always remembering to flip that knot around. 4, 5, all right, you guys. So now here is the last skill of the night that we learned yesterday. It's like we're at this plus now. So the plus means you're going to join it to whatever picot is there. So here we go. We made this picot in our last ring. We are going to join right now. We're going to join these 5 stitches I just did to where this ring is. So to do that, I need to put my thread that's looped around here. I'm going to place that right behind. First of all, I'm going to make my loop bigger. Okay, I'm going to place that thread, our thread from our loop, I'm going to put it right behind that picot. And then I'm going to actually dig in that picot with the tip of my shuttle here. I'm going to dig into that picot and grab that thread from the loop, and I'm going to pull that through a bit. There we go. So I dug it through that picot, and now I'm going to just slide my shuttle in there. So I need to get my whole shuttle through. So I need to make the loop big enough. There we go. And now I can pull back and kind of tighten with this thread again. And we've basically threaded ourselves through that picot there. And that's our first join. That's all there is to a join. You gotta dig out this thread from behind, stick your shuttle through, and then pull it back. That's it. So that's our last kind of skill that we need for this piece. So we are gonna actually be connected to this loop right there and right there. So all right, let's continue. I need to get more floss. I'm a little scared that I'm not gonna have enough floss here. We'll see. All right. I need to do 5 more of these now. So under, over, flip, and over, under, flip. Okay, 2. 3. 4. and 5. Ooh, and it is getting a little twisted, so I will dangle my shuttle here. There we go. So let's just, oops, let that spin a little bit there. All right, it still looks like I'm able to move my ring, so that's good. So, all right, we now need to do another picot. So this is a normal size picot, about right there. I'm going to hold it. There we go. And now I left that space, but now I can slide it down and it makes that little baby loop. And now I need more thread on my ring again, so let's pull this through. All right, that was my one, and I need to do another now. There's just 2 here. Can you please talk a little bit about the pocket skiing? Oh, hey, hi crafting. It is, let's see, let me grab some more here. It is our brand of embroidery floss, so the pocket skein. So my company is Penguin and Fish here, and we had our own cotton 6-strand embroidery floss manufactured. And, all right, here's my big picot I'm going to do now. What's a little different about it is that it's, oops, this is my big one, to get this way up here. It's about half the length of a normal embroidery floss skein. So it's actually like 4 meters instead of 8 meters. Okay, let's slide that down. So it works great for our kits because there's just enough thread for just like what you need. But, you know, usually there's just plenty of extra and stuff too. But it's great. So you just have like the small, like the little amount. You're not left with tons and tons of extra floss when you're done with a project. So it's great for small projects. We have 23 different colors. And yeah, that's what I'm using here. And the scissors that I know some of you guys saw that our new scissors are out. Our scissors match our embroidery floss too. So just a fun thing for our kits, and we sell them in little bundles and stuff, and that's what it is. The main factor, it's like your normal cotton embroidery floss that you're probably used to using. It's just smaller skeins is the main difference, and just like fun colors and stuff. All right, here's my next picot. There we are. That was my 2 and a picot, and now I'm doing 5. So that was 1, 2. And now I just use it for everything. Hence me using it for tatting, even though it's not really normal tatting thread. But it's what we use in all of our embroidery kits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And 1 more picot, and 5 more, and then this ring will be done. Okay, so let's do that 1/4 inch picot. And I need to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. The second half of that. Okay, and we can slide that down. There's a little picot. And now I need to make 4 more stitches, and then this ring is done. I need more slack again here. And my ring is still moving, which means I've tied the knots all in the right direction, which is good. Okay, that was 1, 2, okay, 3, flip. 4, 5. All right, so there's our whole sequence again, right there. All of them on like the column that we're making with our shuttle thread. And now to complete that ring, I'm going to just hold the end there and pull our thread all the way through. So it's shrinking up our ring here, and just keep pulling till all of it's gone through. And there we are. So I think we're definitely not getting this thing done tonight. I've definitely underestimated or like how long tatting takes. So this is my second really thing that I've been making out of with tatting. I'd kind of like to do one more, but we're starting to get something here, right? So the idea is that I'm going to do 4 more of these, and then we'll have our little snowflake. But look, so here's our join that we did right there. Oh, thanks, Devon. That's our join, and we're going to be doing another one of those with this picot here. So all of our loops, all of our rings are going to be connected at the bottom, at the like our starting point, that center, and at that first level picot. These are hefty though. Someone compared this to macrame, and I think it is really similar to that in the sense that you are kind of, you're just tying knots, right? So it's tying knots around like a center, and sometimes with macrame you have to tie a knot one direction and then the other direction, kind of like what we're doing here. All right, let's attempt to do another one here. I know we're sort of out of time, but I kind of want to keep going. So all right, so let's start our next ring. Oh, Hugo says my grandma loved to tat. Oh, and Mama's Bear says, ooh, something I've never seen. Yeah, this is my first, like this kind of, I got a kit for tatting like 10 years ago and tried it. And this is kind of my, yesterday and today are kind of my second and third attempt at this. So all right, I'm going to hold this to start my next ring. I'm going to hold it between my first and third finger again. Oh, Kimberly said it would make a great Christmas tree ornament. Exactly. I think that's why tatted snowflakes are just so popular. I mean, it's just kind of designed. It works for a snowflake for sure. All right, let's start our next one. So under, over. Oh, cool, Elizabeth. I'm glad you popped in. So I'll show you guys a close-up of this again. Let's just get this first one done. Flip. All right, so that's the start of our next ring. So I do think this is easier to see from the side. So I'm going under both threads and I'm sliding it past my fingers. And then I'm going over that first thread and sliding it past my thumb. And then I'm making like a knot. And then that loop that's on this string, I want it to be on the other string. So I'm going to just pull on it and loosen this side, and bloop, there it switched to the other direction. Those are the 2 big motions. So pulling that down, and now I'm going, for the second half of the knot, I'm going over, sliding past my thumb, and then under and sliding past my finger. So we're basically, it's a fancy way, this shuttle is just a fancy way to make, tool to make knots. Okay, now I gotta flip that knot to the other side, there we go, and slide it down. And that's my full, that's a double stitch, that's the main thing. Oh, Hugo says I have 30 snowflakes and Christmas trees for my grandma. Ugh, that's so cool. What a neat, like, thing to, like, history to have, I think. I love all that stuff. I have a bunch of my grandma's doilies. She crocheted them. She didn't tat them. Man, I wonder if she could tat. Probably. She could do everything. but her big thing was crochet, and I have a ton of her crochet stuff, and I love it. Sylvia says that when I'm done with this, I could starch it to make it stiffer. I think that's probably what I'll do. Then that it'll be really like a nice snowflake that we can hang up. All right, so I did my 5. That's the first 5 of the pattern, and now I gotta do that join again. Oh, Mama Bear, this is called tatting. So Tatting. All right, so I'm gonna join into this picot again. And this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough to pull through there. Oh, I pulled on it. I made it a little bit bigger. So, all right, my loop here, my thread right there, I'm going to stick that behind that picot that I want to join to again. And then I'm going to take the little tip here, and I'm going to dig it out. So I'm going in the picot, digging out the thread from what my pointer finger is kind of holding up here. There we go. A little hard with embroidery floss to do that. There. So now I dug out that loop, and I'm going to stick the whole shuttle through there. There we go. And then I'm going to pull that loop back. And there we go. I am now joined to that picot again. So that's our join. And again, in the pattern, that's our plus mark there. Plus means join. And now I can move on. I got to do 5 more of our double stitches. So let's get more thread here. Undo, undo. Oh, Mar says, neat, I have an old tatting shuttle from my grandma or great-grandma, but never saw anyone doing it. I find these things all the time. Like, I bet you anybody, like, if you have, you know, your grandma's old bin full of stuff or whatever, or if you go to an estate sale or something, and you find a bunch of sewing stuff, it's always, they always have these little things on, and I never knew what they were. I'm like, what's this tool? So I had done some research, you know, just, this is like 10 years ago, at like, well, what the heck is this thing? And then that's how I discovered tatting, was just trying to figure out what that tool was. But yeah, I got a kit about 10 years ago. I think I was gifted a kit. And I was so confused doing it, and it came back up recently during our lives, and I'm like, you know what? Let's get that out again. We're gonna learn it for real. So yesterday I learned a whole pile more of how to do it. I did a ton of research, and all right, I got to do a picot here. So we went through the process yesterday, and this is kind of my first actual object that I'm making that isn't just practice. All right, so there's a picot. Slide that down. That gives us our cute little loop there. I need more slack again. There we go. Need more slack here too. Okay, what comes after that? Okay, just 2. So 1, that was my first one, and then 2. Okay, and now we got our really big picot. So let's start our next stitch. So this is our, like that 1-inch one, so I'm gonna just make that a little looser. There, about there, that looks good. And then over and under to finish the stitch. All right, there's our big one, so I can slide that down. Oh, picot. So a picot is, it's spelled P-I-C-O. And it's these cute little loops that we're making. So these are picots. So we got our large picot. That's this one here. That's our 3 dashes, because it's like 3 times the size. And our single dash in the pattern is a small picot. And all I did was, instead of making my next knot next to the knot that came before it, I'm making it way the heck up here, way up higher, and then I just slide that knot down, and then I'm left with just all the slack. And that slack makes a cute little loop. Yep, picot, exactly like that, Jenny. P-I-C-O-T. Okay, Kimberly says, I'm amazed you can talk and tat at the same time. Well, most of the time I'm saying over, under, over. So, you know. Under, over, and then flip, and over and under and flip. So I'm saying those things. All right, I need to make another picot here. So this is a smaller one, so I'm going to start my next stitch, but again, I'm going to leave that little gap. So this time I'm only leaving like a 1/4 inch gap or so about like right there, and I'm going to hold it. Lauren, this is tatting. Okay, there we go. So I made the knot up high, and then I'm going to slide it down, and there it goes. Makes our little loop there. All right, and I need to make my ring on my hand bigger, so I'm going to pull on my ring, make it a bit taller. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, that's that part of the pattern, the 2, and then we made our small picot. Okay, now we're on our 5 picot 5. So we've already done 1. Okay, under, over, flip the knot, over, under, flip the knot. So that's 2, right? 3, 4, and 5, 1, and over, under. That's 5, and I need more slack again. My ring around my fingers are getting so small. Need to make that bigger. Are these available in craft stores? Absolutely. So a person, like, if you're asking just someone like from a big chain store, they might not know what it is, but if you go in like the notions aisle, like the stuff with all the gadgets, they'll look like this. This one again has that slit on the top and the bottom, and my thread, when I get more thread, I'm actually like it's passing through that. Or you can get them like these that actually have a bobbin that you wind inside there, and you can take that in and out. That comes out, and then you wind it all up. Whereas this kind of acts as its own bobbin. You're winding the whole thing. This one I highly prefer way over this. I mean, I've only been doing this for 2 days. But just in those 2 days, I can tell you I like this version that does not have that bobbin on the inside better. All right, I think that was my 5. Now I need to do a picot. So I start the next one, under, over, flip, and get that 1/4 inch gap there. About like so, I think. Okay, and then the second half of that knot, over, under. There we go. Slide it down. We got our cute little baby loop there. Jamie, this is called tatting. Okay. Oh, Sylvia, I found a demonstration of tatting in a store once. Dang, that's cool. I've never seen tatting in real life, just video. Okay. Okay, that was 1. I need to do 4 more, and then we're done with this one. 1, 2, flip, over, under, flip, 3, flip, second half, flip. There we go. That one didn't want to go. I need more thread. Okay. 4, flip. Oops. Oh no, come back here. There, and 1 more. 5. Oh my god. Must be getting late. Starting to make mistakes. Flip. And here. Flip. There we go. So that's our 5. So there, again, it's kind of tight on here, but there's our whole like column of events there, all our knots all lined up, and now we're gonna pull on our thread again to make the loop. So we're making that our thread smaller and smaller and smaller, sucking it all in, and we can suck it in a little bit more there. There we go. So we've pulled that thread all the way around back to the beginning. It's looking cute. So this is half of our snowflake so far, you guys. I might just keep going here. Having kind of fun. So there we are, 3. So dang, you guys, that took like an hour though. I mean, we did actually talk a ton at the beginning, so I think, let's call this 35 minutes of work. It's probably more like 40 minutes of work. So looking cute so far though. So ultimately I do want to stretch these out, like I'll starch it a little bit. Oh, I should have, this ring doesn't look quite as big as the first one, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Oh, if I plan it a little bit, there we go. But I do want these to kind of be more pointy, so it looks more like a snowflake and less like a flower. But I think the act of them just being big kind of makes it look like a snowflake. This is sort of an adaptation of a flower pattern, but I like it so far. All right, should we try another one? I'm going to need this picot available to me, though. Oh, I know it's this picot up here. This is just a funny knot. Okay. Kind of suspect I might need more floss, too, but we'll see. All right. I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to hold that starting point again. I'm going to start my next loop right here. I know, Mar, isn't it cool when it tightens up? I mean, so we're actually kind of making it on a column of thread here. And I suspect, I haven't done needle tatting, so there's a needle tatting version where you don't use a shuttle, you use just a big old needle instead. And I suspect it's similar, like instead of me having to stretch this out constantly, I'm thinking this is the needle, and then you just tie all your knots on the needle, and then you pull the needle out, and then you can pull it into a circle. I don't know that for sure, because I've never done it, but mechanically that seems like it would make sense. So there's 2 types. There's the shuttle, and then there's the needle tatting. Okay, so holding that starting point again in my thumb and third finger there. Then we're going to go up and around, and I'm going to hold it back between my thumb and the third finger again. So we're just making a big circle around our hand, and then coming back to the beginning, and I'm clamping it there with my thumb. Then this is our working area again, and that's what I loosen my finger up here, so I can transfer that knot to this side, because it starts on this side, and I want it on this side. That's when I keep like making that bloop noise when I turn the knot around. All right, so under, over, and through. Okay, right here. Boop, flip that knot to the other side. Let's get that down to where this last one stopped. Okay, that looks good. Now finish the knot with our over, under. So we're going under, over for the first half of the knot, and over, under. Yeah, I gotta keep saying that out loud so I get it. All right, so that's our first knot. We need to do 5. First double stitch. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm getting smoother, I think, you guys. Building the habit here. There we go. So there's our 5. So now we need to do that join again, and I need more slack. Here we go. So this is where we put the loop. We're going to join it to this picot here. So we put our ring, we put like this thread here underneath that picot, and now we're going to dig out that ring. Come here. We're going to just kind of catch it. There we go. Dig it out. And then we're going to stick our shuttle. Ooh, come back here. Stick our shuttle through that loop. There we go. And now we can tighten it up again. And there's our join. We joined one half of our circle of our ring to the ring that came before. So the picots are decorative up here, and they're useful here. They're part of the mechanics down here, the side picots. They're exactly the same. They just can be decorative or they can be used to join things. So we just joined our next loop. Okay. 5 more stitches here, double stitches. Okay, under, over, flip, over, under, flip. 1. Stitch and Tori. Stitch and Tori says I had a 30-minute drive home and now she's back. And you got so far. I got 3 of the 6 done, and I'm just haven't stopped yet. I'm quite a bit stayed quite a bit longer than I typically do here, but I kind of want to finish, even though that'll take me quite some time yet. Okay, that's 2. Oops. 3. 4. And 5. Okay, so that's 5. Now I need to do a picot and start the next 2. Okay, so 1. All right. There's a 1/4 inch picot. There we go. And 2. Let's pull that down. There's our cute little picot loop. How do you not drop the shuttle? Oh, this is great. So how do I not drop the shuttle when I'm passing over the ring here? So that was a motion that was totally confusing to me when I started, because I haven't seen that motion in, like, I knit and I crochet and, embroider, and I had never seen this motion before. So I'm going to show you from the side. So I have 1 more double stitch to do here. So I'm going under. So here's me going under from the side. I'm holding the shuttle with my thumb and my first finger here. So the first is going under both of these threads, and then over just the first one. So I'm going under. And watch, I'm actually sliding the thread. It's passing underneath my finger here. Like, so I'm kind of holding with my finger, but it's just kind of swooping underneath while I still grab on. Like, I can feel it on my finger. It's going right underneath. And then I'm going to, like, clear it with my shuttle. So that was under, and now I'm coming back, but I'm going over with the shuttle, over that string. And then it's got to pass underneath my, next to my thumb there. So I'm just, like, sliding, like we're flossing our teeth here is what's happening for real. And then through. So that's how that's done. And I had never seen, here it is again. So now I'm going over and then under for the second movement. So the first one is under, over. The second one is over, under. So just flossing it right past my thumb and finger. All right, that's 2. How did you learn this? I attempted to learn it 10 years ago when I got a kit, and I found it, like, super difficult. And so I basically, for real, learned yesterday. And watched a ton of videos and tried to figure it out after doing it that one time 10 years ago. I am using all 6 strands of floss here. Again, embroidery floss is probably not the best thing to use because it does split, but so far it's been going okay. I think more of a pearl cotton floss that's a tightly wound floss is probably a better, but hey, I'm using what I got, and embroidery floss is pretty, so. All right, let's do our big picot now. Under, over, transfer that knot to the other side. There we go. And now this one I wanted to be like 1 inch tall, so I'm going to actually pull my knot up a little bit. Ooh, I got to get to this side again. Oh, that's too much. Went back down. Maybe a little less. There, about right there. So I'm going to hold that loop way up here, and then over and under. Are there lots of videos out there? I found a few. Man, you guys, though, I really had to dig, I feel like. Okay, so here's my big picot, and I'm going to slide it down, and there's the big old loop there. So I'm saving this on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube, I think you can get there quickly through TikTok in my profile. My video from yesterday and is my live from yesterday here, that we go into, like, I do all the basics all the way through. I mean, it's live, so it's long. It's not edited. There we go. 1, 2. Now I got to do another picot. I had to read blog posts from 2000. No. From blog posts from 2005, and like videos from like 2009 or something. Like, it really was not the easiest thing to find very, very, very basic stuff. So I'm hoping that we can actually maybe turn this into a blog post and stuff at some point. But we do have my video from yesterday where I go through the basics. I mean, this looks like a crazy blob, but I do go through everything that I'm doing tonight. And this video that we're doing right now will go up right when we're done too, so that'll be available on YouTube as well. Okay, so that's 1. I think I'm in my 5 bits now. Yeah, so 5, picot 5, and then this ring is done. Okay, 1, under, over, and I do try and get, like, in like yesterday and today, like close and at angles, so you know you're actually kind of looking at it at the same angle that I'm looking at it, and just getting some of these side angles where you can really see what the shuttle's doing and stuff. Right now I'm just going a little faster because I'm trying to get through this thing. Okay, that's 3, but my ring's really small. But yeah, so I'd say check that out. What was that blog that I thought was really helpful? It was called, like, Tatted Treasures or something, but that seems generic. I don't know. But that was from, like, 2005. And, like, the images are so small because back in the day we couldn't do that big of images on blog posts, but I found the information really good. 1 more. But yeah, so this video and yesterday's video are up. Like, we're live on YouTube right now as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5. Now I need a picot. All right, that 1/4 inch picot. All right, leaving that gap. Oh, I'll have to check it out. My grandma loves tatted products. I've always wanted to surprise her. Oh, cool. I just love, like, so the concept of tatting, I love, from the sense of the potential that this is the size of the project. Like, I can walk around with just this tiny little thing in my pocket and, like, this little snowflake started and just work on something wherever. I think that's just super cool. I mean, that's why I like embroidery, because you can just kind of stuff that away somewhere, but this is, you can even stuff away even more. All right, I have to do 4 more, and then we're done with this ring. 1. Okay, I mean 2. This is really 2. Okay, 3. My ring's getting smaller, but I don't want to get more. 4. Oops, come back here. It's hard to get the knot to pop to the other side when it's so short. And 5, under, over, over, under. Ugh, come through there. Should have just made my loop bigger, but I'm getting greedy, I guess. Okay. There's our column of knots again, and I can just pull. And let's tighten that loop up so our loop's getting smaller, smaller, smaller. Whoop. Get a little tighter there. It's cute. I'm just gonna kind of dig out this picot a little bit. Alright, 2 more. I don't know. Kind of want to just keep going. I think we might actually run out of thread though. So we're attempting to make a little snowflake here. So here's what it's looking like so far. So here's my little pattern that I'm going on. Look at this like Morse code. This is like the pattern, which is crazy. I just learned how to read these patterns yesterday. I just love it. I think it looks like code, like I said, but that's this so far. So we have 2 more rings to do. I went over how to do this a little bit earlier, so that'll be earlier on the replay on YouTube. But there we go. I'm going to tighten this a little bit more. So theoretically, I need 2 more, and then we'll have like our 6 little bits for a snowflake. So I think it's kind of coming together there. Ooh, it's going to be just like a sweet little baby snowflake. Okay, I'm going to keep going, you guys. I think I'm really supposed to... We have to pack because we're headed out of town. And I'm packed, but I think I'm supposed to wake up. I think John's taking a nap until I'm done here. And then he's going to pack. So me going over means that John's not packing. But that's okay. Okay, getting my first knot way down there. Then over, under. There we go. And I got to make my loop bigger already. Oh, hey, Pretty Cat. Pretty Cat says, looking great for your second day. Patterns are very easy to find. And they're very easy to read too. I know this looks crazy, but I broke it down a little bit. There are some things that we have not discussed here yet it was actually kind of hard for me to find a pattern this simple because there are 2 things that we haven't gone over yet. And that is a chain stitch, which is basically just instead of doing these double stitches on a loop, we just double stitch on a straight piece of thread. But you need to get that straight piece of thread from somewhere else, like a second shuttle or the ball, like the end over here. So that's a different concept that we haven't really gone over yet, and I have not tried yet either because I'm just learning here as well. So you'll have that in the typical pattern, and then reversing the work. So these shapes in tatting can only ever go clockwise. So all my loops are going clockwise and my whole piece is going clockwise. So I started here and I'm going this direction. I can't all of a sudden switch directions unless I reverse my work. So that's a matter of flipping it over and then continuing. So then if I flip this over and I go clockwise and I flip it back, what was going clockwise will look like it's going counterclockwise, right? If that makes sense. So we haven't done that concept here yet. So most patterns, like I said, it was hard to find one that only used one shuttle, like what I'm doing now, because it all goes in the clockwise direction. It was hard to find one like that, but these other ones did have that chain stitch and the reversing the work. Let's do that join again. I'm gonna dig out, I'm going in that picot and I'm gonna dig out my loop thread here again. This is awfully small though. Let's see if I can get this to come through here. Ugh, I might actually have to, so this other, oh man, and now I got this off my hand. This other, I made my picot a little small here. It's hard to get this embroidery floss through. And this other shuttle happens to have a tiny crochet hook on. So I think I'm going to just use that one. Hook it through. That worked. There we go. There's our loop. And now I can put my shuttle through that loop. But yeah, so patterns are very easy to find. I found, like, there's actually some beautiful ones on Etsy that you can buy, and there's a lot on Pinterest, but they almost always include those 2 extra things. I had to definitely Google. Everything was Googleable, though, so, like, I was able to Google what the different things in the pattern meant relatively easily. Ooh, wait, what happened there? So that was good. What I found more difficult to find was, like, the motions of how to do that. So that's what we really kind of went over a lot yesterday and earlier in today's video too. Because that was always very confusing, I thought. And a lot of the videos and the blog posts out there are really kind of old. Okay, 1... I think that was just 4. Yep, 4, 1 more. Oh, that's awesome. EMC, yeah, EMCD 42. Yeah, this was like literally sitting in the back of my head for a decade of, like, oh my god, tatting. It's so hard. I don't know how to do it, and, like, how am I gonna learn how to do that? Because I got that, like, a little, like, my first tatting kit, some, like, goofy kit a decade ago, and all right, I gotta make this cute Picot here, and it was so hard to understand. And then we just got talking about it the other day. I'm live every night doing various projects, and we just got talking about tatting, and I was just talking about, like, that when I got that kit, and it was just so confusing. And we're like, well, why don't we try it again? Let's get it out and let's try and learn how to do it again. So that's kind of what started yesterday and today's little deal there. All right, here's that giant Picot. Yeah, like that. All right, and let's slide it down. There's our big old loop. Cute. Oh yeah, totally. Pretty Cat is saying you can find free antique patterns on websites and with books. Yeah. Oh yeah, the copyrights have expired and stuff. There's a lot out there, but yeah, they do. Like I said, they do have that couple extra things that we haven't done here, that chain stitch and that reverse work. Although both, after, like, reading about it, like I said, I, like, spent like 5 hours yesterday figuring out how to do this. They don't seem that hard, those other 2 concepts, the chain stitch and the reverse work. There we go. Okay, that was 2. All right, so now I'm on that last leg of 5s. Again, let's make my thread really big here. Okay. Oh, and my bobbin thread's almost out, you guys. I'm not going to have enough, so I'm going to have to actually tie more floss to this. Well, that's a bummer. Oh, well. 1. So I might need to stop just because I run out of thread. Oh, this is actually my second. 3. 4. 5. So I'm learning. So I've underestimated the amount of time it takes and the amount of thread I was gonna need so far. So that's why I love just jumping into these projects, because that's when I make all those mistakes and I'm like, huh, okay, because next time I'll put more thread on that bobbin, and I guess I won't think I'll get this whole snowflake done in an hour. Ooh, this might be it for this bobbin, so I'm gonna have to add more to it. Oh, yep, and there it went. So I have heard that, oh gosh, how am I gonna even do this now? Ugh, I'm gonna undo this loop and I'm gonna join my thread. All right, so I think to do this, I can just tie a knot, like a square knot to this, and then we do have to tuck them both in later. Yeah, splice more thread in. Pink Froggy Crochet, we are tatting. So this is shuttle tatting. We're tatting with this shuttle here. So I think, so I haven't done this before, but when I was doing my research, I think all you do is just like tie a square knot basically, and then just get cracking at it again, right? And then we'll have to tuck these in later. It also said, though, I think to like try and do this at the start of a ring. Actually, I think we're only going to be able to do this at the start of a ring because because I'm going to take this out, because we're not going to be able to pull things on it with a big old knot there. But if we start it on a ring, then we'll be able to. So I might have enough to finish this, but I'm going to have to like get it back on here, and I'm going to have to work with like a smaller loop here. Unless you guys know what to do. Help on another craft. Oh, fun. Linda's like, I'm not sure I have enough patience for this. So I just have to get 5 more knots out of this, really. So I wonder if I can do that with making my ring smaller. So let's see. First of all, I got to get this wound again. I am going to try and put this in my mouth a little bit and get it back in the hole here. So I'm just winding this up again. I'm going to see if I can do it with just this little bit of thread. Let's just see. Because I think you only want to do this on the beginning of a ring. So really, when I saw that my thread was low, I really, before starting this next ring, I should have wound more thread on, I think. Okay, over, under. So this is just going to be a little just difficult, but I think we're going to try and get it. All right, I still need that picot in there. All right, we're just not going to wrap it. You would try cutting 3 strands of them. I would try to cut 3 strands of the old and new thread. Oh, then twist them together. Oh, we could do that. Well, the problem is I need, these knots have to slide down it, so I can't have like, too many, okay, that's 1. I need 4 more. I wonder if I can get it. I can't have like nubbins and stuff in the way. Under, oops, and over, I forgot to. Over, under. So we're gonna start just looking crazy here, you guys, as I try and salvage this. Okay, under, over, and through. So this will be 3, and maybe I just do, if I can only get 4, I'll only do 4. And I don't think anyone's gonna notice, so. I gotta just make sure that I'm flipping the knots still. Oh, you guys, I don't think I flipped that knot. So I gotta take a few knots out here. Boo! We're gonna get this, though. This knot, I don't think I flipped in the right direction. So if you don't flip your knot, then it locks everything up. There we go, we're back. Okay, I'm gonna try and do 1 more here and see if we can do it. Oops, it flipped the wrong way again. All right, let's just, actually, you know what? I might just pull this ring. Let's just pull it tight. I know I don't have as many up there. I just have 3 instead of the 5. But if I leave a little slack there, I don't think we're going to notice. And then I can splice in my next thread. So that's a learning thing for me for sure. When I notice that I'm not going to have enough thread to finish the ring, the next ring, I should have taken the thread off of here and spliced it at that point. So like right now, I have one more to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think I want to tie the knot like right at the base of that ring. I think that's kind of how it should be done. So I'm going to actually cut this short now. I am visiting family in Wisconsin. That's where I'm headed. So I'm tying this into a little square knot right up at the base of that ring, and then we'll just wind this up and start from there, and I am gonna just go ahead and finish this tonight, at least the tatting part of it. There we go. So I'm just tying that in a knot, and actually this knot is gonna help fill in the gap. Ooh, this is good. It's gonna just look like another knot because I only was able to get 3 knots there, and now it's gonna look like I have 4. So that was actually a decent place to do that. Okay, and then I have this much left in the thing. I should have just wound this whole pocket skein on here and I would have had the perfect amount. Well, just lick the end there a little bit, try and get it through. Ugh, I think I need a nice clean end. There we go. Oh, you're watching live from Japan. That's awesome. So he says, I've only seen at ring or chain end. Yeah, so there's the chain stitches and stuff too. So, okay, we're going counterclockwise. So I'm going to go like so. Let's wind this up again. We're going to be back in business again in a sec here. I think we salvaged. We got ourselves out of that pickle there. And I'm learning as I go here. Could have just spent 5 more minutes, not even 2 more minutes, and wound the rest of this on, and we would have been fine. Dang, this uses a lot more thread than I thought, though. Okay, I think that's plenty. All right, back in business, people. So we have one more ring to go, and then we're basically done with the tatting. Theoretically, I do need to weave in all these ends, and especially now that we have these little extras from the knot. But hey, got pretty far, I think. And we're still learning here, so man, there's stuff everywhere now, though, so it's going to be a little confusing, I think. Let's just shush all the rest of this out of the way. Oh, yep. I also did that at the beginning. So if you guys want like the full how-to, check out on YouTube. The replay of this will be on YouTube. It's live right now on YouTube, and it'll be up immediately when we're done here. All right, so I'm holding it between my first and third finger. Let's go around, grab it again, and get more slack. Oh, Absolute Cheshire says, needle tatting has the opposite problem. Your work thread, is the whole spool, but you need a tail long enough. Oh, interesting. Oh, dang, yeah, that you'd have to get good at estimating. That would be tough for me. Tough for a beginner, I would think. All right, under, over. Oh, I forgot. I have to go under both threads, so I got to get my hand kind of under. So under, over, and through. Okay, flip that knot around and get it right up against our starting base. Oh, you've lost many projects that way. Oh, sad. So that's that's seems to be like the red flag of tatting, from what I can tell so far, is not having enough thread, or like you're not going in the wrong direction and then all of a sudden you can't pull the loop anymore. because your knot didn't flip over and then your whole piece is basically screwed. Is that kind of the scenario? That's what it seems like as far as I can tell. So who knows? That's what it seems like. So that making sure to flip that knot seems like a major, where I'm going like boop, flipping that to the other side. That motion, that seems like the most important thing here, because it starts on this thread, like it's looping that direction, but I need it to loop on this side instead. There, it just switched directions. That's the important part. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's join this up to our picot again. So I'm going to use that little crochet hook from this guy again, because that was easier. Bringing our thread up through the picot. There we are. There we go. And now let's get our shuttle through that loop. Back, and there's our join, our last, oh no, not our last join, we got to join to our first loop here. Okay, unwind a bit more. Okay, that was 5. Okay, 5 more. 1, flip, 2, oh no, this is the other half of the 1, never mind, jeez. Okay, 2, flip, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I'm not sure I flipped that last one. Yeah, okay, I did, good. Over and under. Okay, there's 5. I'm going to get a little bit more slack in my loop again. More slack over here as well. Okay, let's do a picot. Okay, my 1/4 of an inch or so. I'm going to hold that there. Finish the knot. There, and we're going to slide that down. Cool. Okay, I got to do my second double stitch. Okay, now my big picot. This is our last big picot. That's just fun to say. Okay, big picot. I think they're actually called large picots, but they're big picots today. All right, about 1 inch, good. Hold that knot up there. And thanks for hanging out with me extra long tonight, you guys. This is like, we're at least 40 minutes past my normal length. But I'm invested now in finishing this, so that's how it is tonight. Okay, so there's that. Let's get more slack first. There. Okay, last, our little picot here. So this is the 1/4 inch picot. There we are. Then over, under. Okay, slide that down. Cute. All right, and that's our first one of our set of 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Huh. All right, now we have to join to this picot. Ooh, I haven't done that before. Huh. So we got to go to this picot and then kind of just keep going around here. Carol, we are tatting. I am learning how to tat, basically, between yesterday and today. It's like magic how you can pull more slack through those knots. I know, and that's, like, I think the key to all of tatting, because, like, look, we're doing it, basically, all these knots in a straight line here, and then when we pull, it all kind of goes in the loop. But, okay, so I got to join this with, like, from the beginning here, so let's just see how I can maneuver this. I'm sure there's instructions on how to really do this, but let's let's get this out of the way, and let's just pretend it's like a normal one. So I'm gonna go through the picot and grab our thread. I'm gonna just assume this is the same process. And now get our shuttle through that loop. Come on, guy. There we go. And pull it tight again. And we still have five things to do to get to the end, but man, all this is kind of in the way now. All right, there we go. There, I'm situated now. Can I still pull everything? Is the question. I think I can. Okay, good. So let's do 5 more. Carol says, I crochet, knit, quilt, and sew, but I've never done tatting. It looks difficult. That was my absolute exact to the word mindset of tatting. I got a kit of it a long time ago, and it took me ages to figure out, and I barely figured it out, and then didn't do it again for like 10 years because it was so confusing. And we got talking about it the other day, decided to give it another go, and that's what you're seeing now. So yeah, if you did want to give it a try, if you're curious, check out yesterday's video on YouTube, yesterday's live, and then today's live is going up on YouTube as we speak as well, and will be saved there. But it's kind of fun. It's so different than any of those other motions of like knitting, crochet, all that. It's such a different feel. I think that's it. That's our 5. And it's been just like fun giving it a go. All right, this is our last pull of this loop, and this one's a little weird because it does have, oh good, it's working. We went through that first picot, and we got all our crazy threads everywhere because we had to join that other thing. But it's still moving, so let's, I'm just gonna trust the process. Let's just pull these together. Ugh, okay, come back here, guy. Yeah, okay, this still comes together down here. It's happening, it's working. Just gotta keep pulling. There. Oh, and then we just, this makes sense, then we just join it to our beginning. So I think I just tie this into a knot. I'm gonna leave a little extra, so, oop, done there. I think I just tied these in a knot just to join the start and end. There might be a better way to do this, but I'm going to just tie it with a knot. And there we are, basically. I have to tuck in all my ends still, and man, this last one looks a little wonky, but it works still. So I'd have to take a needle at this point. I'm going to just hold them all so we can't see them, but I'd have to take a needle at this point to weave in all of these ends. So all of these ends, I would just kind of get going through one of these loops, one of these rings, and then they'll kind of disappear. But there we go. So that is basically it. So what I would like to do, I'm not going to do this tonight anymore, but theoretically, I weave in all the ends, and I'd like to starch this so that these points are a little pointier and less loopy, and then I think that'll look even more like a snowflake. But so this is my literally my first tatting project here. So here's it, just up close if you guys want to see. You can see all the little knots, all the little picots coming out here. And again, we can starch this, and it'll all kind of it'll just all stick down a whole lot better. Like, they won't twist or anything, they'll just stay in place. But yeah, so you can make a whole pile of ornaments. I mean, that did take me like, what? We've been sitting here like 2 hours. So this did take me 2 hours to do something that, you know, fits in the palm of my hand, really. But hey, that's what slow crafting's all about, right? It's still a nice, it's still like a good win for sure. Oh, Sylvia says I tie in when making the knots. Oh, I'll have to, oh, that's smart. Like, I could have just wove these in right away. Cool. All right, you guys. So that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this long. I know we've been doing it a little longer than usual here. Here's this, I'm going to put the pattern here again if you just wanted to screen grab it. I know it looks crazy. It looks like Morse code or something. But I did talk about it at the beginning, how to read it, and just how to like go over like what all the things are, what all the little elements mean, like all these dashes actually mean stuff. It's the picots, and again, what it all means and how to do each little step will be on YouTube. This live will be on YouTube, and yesterday when we went through kind of the basics is also on YouTube at Penguin and Fish. So check that out. And all right, flipping the camera around there. So thank you guys again. And so I won't be on tomorrow. I will be on Monday though, again at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And we'll be quilting again on Monday. So this was a great experiment. Thank you guys for encouraging me to like get cracking, try this tatting again. And yeah, and thanks again for all your scissors orders today. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think they're just so fun and cute. And yeah, so not next week, but the week after, we'll be starting our embroidery of the month again. And let me just look at this here. I'm going to flip you guys around again. There we go. Oop, here, let's zoom you guys down. I have another camera for YouTube and Facebook if you guys are wondering. But here, I just wanted to see what this looks like next to our little snowflake here. Oh, see, they're pals. Okay, I love that so much, you guys. We could maybe like decorate our hoop or something after. Or what if we had like a few of them like hanging down? It would be like well, like a little mobile almost, like just the little snowflakes hanging down from it. But I think, yeah, fun. That's gonna be a cute pair together when we finish both of them. Awesome. So, all right, you guys, I will see you again on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for joining me again, and I'll see you then. Good night. All right, thanks again, everyone.